From BQE Restaurant and Lounge in the heart of Atlanta's historic Martin Luther King District, it's Newsmakers Live, bringing you the issues, politics, and perspective of the Atlanta community. Now in its 10th season, here is tonight's moderator and your host, 8-time Emmy Award-winning broadcast journalist, Mr. Maynard Eaton.
10th anniversary season. We have a special young man here tonight. His name is Andre Dickens. He's a post 3 at-large city councilman. He's entering his second term without opposition. The brother got to be bad. Everybody has opposition, not Andre Dickens. What is it? We have a new council coming. We have a new city council president coming. And, of course, we have a new mayor coming. But no new post 3 at-large guy.
I'm blessed. I'm thankful that I don't have any opposition. I appreciate you having me here, Maynard. This is a wonderful thing. 4 years ago, I was in a fight for my life trying to get into this position, and now I'm here without opposition. So what a difference 4 years makes. And I'm thankful to not have any opposition. No one decided, and I'm at large. At large
that's
means
citywide.
That's citywide. So a lot of people that are running for various positions could have decided to run against me, and they didn't. And I'm thankful that they didn't. Hopefully that means that they support me and they believe that I'm doing a good job, that they want to see me stay in. And, 7 or 8 new council members are going to be coming. So, I'm one of them. I'll be staying there.
It's going to be a new day at City Hall.
Yeah.
And you're going to be a top dog there. I don't mean that literally, but I mean, you'll be the most experienced or veteran black city councilman, arguably, if Michael Bond loses, which you want to happen, if he loses. But that puts you in a position of power and prestige, does it not?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't, I think I can see how I would be elevated from, I was the newest and youngest city council member. So currently, I'm the youngest and newest city council member that we have. And I'll go to one of the middle or upper guys in terms of my voice being heard, my, influence and access to various things. So I'm looking forward to being able to be a quicker, direct connect for the people of Atlanta so I can hear it on the street and get it done legislatively and be able to communicate to a council president, a mayor, and a city council quicker and with more resolve than I ever have in the last 4 years. I've done a lot in these 4 years, but with me being a middle to upper guy in terms of, my duration on council and I'm at large, I may be one of the longest serving at larges just, at the end of this election.
At 4 years, right?
It'll be something to see, and hopefully I can use that to be able to bring about positive change across the whole city.
What does that say? What does that mean about you and also about city politics? 4 years in, you're now one of the top guys.
Yeah, that means what a difference 4 years makes. It means that, if you come in, you listen to folks. I'm seeing great friends in the audience. I'm aware of they call me and they say something, and I turn around and I investigate and I go check on it and try to make something happen for them. That is what citizens want. People see that. Being citywide is a whole nother ball game. That means I have to go to Candler Park one day, Buckhead the next afternoon, Grant Park, Bankhead, Adamsville. You got to know your streets. You got to know your NPU leaders, your neighborhood association. You got to know your politics to be able to communicate with that many people. And in the age of social media, you can't say something on the north side and then turn around and say it's something different on the south side. Somebody's going to say, no. Andre says,
used to be that way.
It used to be that way. You can say, I'm for this over here and I'm for that over there. So now you have to be able to communicate honestly, earnestly. And last but not least, with what all's going on at City Hall, you have to be ethical in your dealings. You can't, you can't take bad money, can't do bad things with the money that you got. That keeps you in office, as well as listening to the people, serving the public interest at every turn that you can.
I mentioned that you're not supporting your fellow councilman, Michael Bond. You're supporting Courtney English for that seat.
Yes.
Is that because you think Michael Bond is part of that City Hall corruption atmosphere?
So that's a good question. I'm supporting Courtney English because I believe that Courtney English would do a better job. I believe that Courtney English has led a school board that when he first got there, they were in the throes of a cheating scandal nationally recognized, and he stood up to Beverly Hall and the others, and he fought against that behavior. Then he got us from 55% graduation rate, which is ridiculous and unheard of in Atlanta, to now in the mid-70s graduation rate for our public school. That's important. That kind of leadership doesn't just come out the sky. That's somebody that's nurtured. He's from here. He's done a great job. I think that we need that on city council because a lot of the things that we deal with on city council is making up for challenges that people have had in their lives that didn't get them the opportunities that they needed. If they're not going to college, if they're not going into the military, if they're not going to work, they may be going in your refrigerator when you're not home. Or they may be causing challenges in other areas. And so I think that when you see a Courtney English that knows the school system, that knows how young people think, I think you want that on the city council. And then going back to Michael Bonner, I don't want to duck the question. I don't want to duck it. I was going to take you right there. I know you're going to take me there. What I don't want in a city council is a bunch of proclamations and showing up just to wave. We need to do the work. The people have hired us.
He's a show horse, not a workhorse, huh?
I want us to go out there, produce positive legislation for people, and I don't think we ought to do that with a lot of ethics violations. If you've got the largest ethics violations in the state of Georgia, $45,000 worth of fines that the state is charging you, I think you have to seriously look at yourself and say, it's time for me to step down. It's time for me to pass the torch to someone else, because those type of violations put a cloud of concern by the public. You erode the public trust. We need the public trust. The public has depended on us to make decisions on their behalf. And that's what I want this council to get back to. We're going to have a new mayor. There's no one for us to hide up under. It's us that's making these decisions along with the mayor. And so I want to talk about that, the role of the council now, and why I think Courtney English will be a part of the role of this new council going forward.
But there is a cloud in City Hall corruption.
Yeah.
You were on the city council. Did you sense it? Did you feel it as a new guy or newcomer or rookie? Did you sense something smells foul here?
No, I didn't sense it or didn't see it because growing up where I grew up, if I see something, say something. I don't want to be around it. I don't want to rub elbows with someone that's gonna, my mom always said, you lay down with dogs, you're gonna wake up with fleas, So if I knew that it was going on, I would have had to say something, either correct the behavior or bring someone in that would correct the behavior. So I didn't know it. A lot of the charges that are against folks happened in 2011, 2012, and those time periods before I got there. I think we've gotten a lot better. However, I will say it's just unfortunate that right now you have leaders that have been there for many years that have walked the line, done good work, and now they're subject to this cloud of corruption, and they may or may not have done anything. And
they've been besmirched, you think?
Yeah, they've been being challenged because they didn't, they're too close to it. Maynard, the other Maynard, Maynard Jackson, said, if you can,
I'm the other Maynard.
You're the other Maynard. The other Maynard. If you can see the line, you're too close to the line.
Right.
If you can see it, a lot of us say if you cross the line. No. It's not just crossing the line. If you can see the line, you're too close to it. I need to back up. And that hasn't seemed like it's been happening. Everybody's saying, well, I didn't do it. But did you see it? If you saw it, you're too close.
Did you see it?
I didn't see it.
Will folks go to jail from City Hall and from the administration? Do you sense that's happening? And will that correct itself with this new era of a new mayor, a new city council president, and a new council? Will things change in City Hall, or is it inculcated in the system itself? That's how the game is played.
No, I don't think that that's going to be the nature of our city. I was born and raised here, and I'm 43 years old. And I've seen...
Damn you, young.
I've seen good leaders do good things, and I've seen good leaders make some mistakes. I don't think that that's the nature of Atlanta. I think that we can improve where we've been, where we are right now. I don't know who's going to jail. I'm not a lawyer. I'm an engineer from the greatest school on earth called Georgia Tech. So I'm a heck of an engineer. So I don't necessarily know who's going to jail, but I know that there's some process improvements that need to be put in place. And if we can, as a new council, come in there and put these checks and balances in place, or just make them enforce the checks and balances that are already on the books, then I think.
But Andre, why couldn't the present council do that? Doesn't the bucks kind of stop with you guys? Or was this city council ramrodded, dominated by Mayor Kasim Reed, and you guys just laid down and let him have his way? That's what many people think.
Yeah, I can see how many people think that. I know that I respect the mayor, but I also maintain my independence on council. A few of us will challenge things that we don't agree with. You've seen me take no votes, voted no against certain things that were going on. I've, spoken publicly about things that whether he or anybody else didn't speak in the areas that I thought were necessary for us to improve. I've spoken up against those things. Sometimes council members decide that it's in their best interest of the district. Sometimes they say, well, I got a great thing that's about to happen. I don't want to speak up against it because that may cause some consternation across the council. And it's I can't say for sure that there's anybody that's done anything wrong. I'm not. We run our offices independently. Each council member has their own office, and they have their own budget. So I can't really say for sure who's done what or not done.
Tell me this. What's your report card on Mayor Kasim Reed? How do you grade him?
So Mayor Kasim Reed has been quite effective at quite a few good things. This budget is well balanced. We're in a great financial and fiscal shape. I think that we are bringing in new businesses. We are operating at an international city level. We are doing some wonderful things. He has a diverse staff, which is necessary for a city as dynamic as Atlanta. I think that the Obama administration brought in a lot of positive, coming out of this recession. So I think that he's done a good job at being a good caretaker of that rising tide. I also think he's put some good things in place along with the previous council and this current council. So I give him a good report card. But I also have to think on behalf of the least of these.
Yeah.
There's a lot of individuals that are still.
There's a tale of two cities.
There's a tale of two cities, and that hasn't really changed as much. I think even in the handful of conversations I've had with him, he addresses that, and he's aware that equity has eroded. We're in an area right now where we're bright lights right now on this great corner, but 4, 5, 6 hours from now, there will be individuals that are looking for a place to sleep tonight in this cold. That has not actually been fully dealt with. There'll be individuals who had a home, an apartment, that'll slide into homelessness because we haven't addressed housing affordability at the level that we should. There'll be nice new buildings going up and a whole bunch of people moving in from other cities to work in those places, whereas individuals that are in this city that have gone to these schools may not get those jobs because our workforce development hasn't led us to educate our public to get those great new jobs that we're putting tax incentives towards. So I don't blame him exclusively. I blame us, the council. I blame individuals that are also in other public positions, Invest Atlanta and the Beltline and other places. You can't blame it all on the mayor. There are checks and balances, and I think that with a new council president, a new council, and a new mayor, we're going to have more checks and balances that'll say, hey, we're going to get this big win in these new headquarters, but we also ought to have some jobs for folks at this income level, at this education level, and that's going to make a well-rounded city.
Will this new council, this new mayor, this new era of Atlanta politics make a difference, or are things going to stay much the same, just new folks doing the same old thing?
I'm an eternal optimist, so I believe that, the best is yet to come. The last 4 years were great. The next 4 years are going to be even greater, and that's because I think that the council is going to deliberate more. We're not, I don't like it to be where we all are going to have these 15-0 votes, I want people to say, well, I would have voted for that if you would have thought about this. And that'll make us the next go around and the next meeting and the next meeting. We deal with like 300 pieces of legislation every 2 weeks. And constantly, majority votes are just happening. I think that we can deliberate more, address the public more, hear from them, ask them questions, serve them better by engaging them more. And I tried it, and my voice is not as it wasn't as it was good, but it can be better. I think I can do even more to ask the public input. I'm not going to put it all on. It's easy to say Kasim didn't do this or Caesar as council president didn't do that. I think that I did a good job, but I could have done a much better job at bringing to bear the public conversation. And I think a whole lot of my colleagues could have done even better,
You and former Mayor Shirley Franklin have teamed up in support of Courtney English for city council.
Yeah.
Have you two teamed up for support of any mayoral candidate?
No, I, of course, Mayor Shirley Franklin is, mama to me. I have a biological mother, and then I have a city government political mother, advisor, mentor. I literally talk to her every day. And, we both individually and collectively decided to support Courtney English for all the reasons I mentioned earlier. As far as the mayor's race, I'm the new guy on the block, and she's red in the block. So she can decide if she wants to endorse, and I can decide if I want to be the new guy and endorse. And I actually have not voted yet because I'm still making decisions. Believe it or not, I know every mayoral candidate, and the leaders, I know them very intimately, and I'm watching them, and I'm learning from them, and I'm critiquing them as a friend, as a colleague, but as a citizen of Atlanta who wants his streets paved smoothly, who wants his trash picked up on time, who wants, housing to be fair, who wants a relationship with the school system, who wants, us to compete with the global cities of the world. I literally watch and hinge on every word each one of them says. So I can't endorse. I can't jump out there early. I'm listening to the whistle blows. I want to be right there, ready to vote on Tuesday, and I'm going to have my little scratch sheet that says 1 for this one, 1 for that one, 1 for this one, 1 for that one. And at the end of the day, I'm going to count up all my points, and that's the person I'm going to go into the ballot box for.
Well, we have a leading candidate for mayor in the polls sitting out here listening to you.
I see her.
And she'll be our next guest. But there are those who also suggest that while you're contemplating who you'll vote for, that you're also contemplating running for mayor down the road yourself.
Well, I mean, if you're, so let me not hedge. Let me say this the way I want to say it, which is, growing up in Atlanta, there was nothing better than to see Maynard Jackson or Andrew Young when I was a high school student or a middle school student walk into your school and deliver a speech, and you just get in awe. You're like, these folks are wonderful. And I remember those moments when they would be in my school or the Dream Jamboree or all these things. And so at that time, I said, I want to be mayor. I remember telling Mayor Franklin when Cabral, her son, and I were playing basketball, good friends together, I said, Mayor Franklin, she wasn't mayor then. I said, Miss Franklin, I want to be mayor one day. I didn't know what city council was or school board or commissioner or anything.
You like the way the mayor's carried himself.
I like the way the mayor would talk to the kids and how my mom would want to jump 2 aisles in the grocery store to go, shake the hand of the mayor. And, I just really wanted that, kind of affection for the city to be displayed. And now I still want that. So one day, God willing, and a whole bunch of other great things happen, one day I'll be able to sit in this chair and ask for your support as a mayoral candidate versus re-election as a city councilor.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's news. We have a mayoral candidate who wants to be mayor sitting in the audience, and we have a future mayoral candidate sitting here. That's Newsmakers. Thank you so much for being here with us. Stay tuned for Mary Norwood.
Thank y'all.
Hey, man, that's good. You're good at this.